Hey guys, gals and non-binary pals, it is Matt, and today I'm here to review A Dead Djinn Tarot by P. Jelly Clark, and that comes out tomorrow on May 11th. Now, this was a really fun book. I'm absolutely obsessed with this world. I definitely want to read the two prequel novellas. The first one being A Dead Djinn Tarot, and the second, The Haunting of Tramcar 115. Oh, by the way, thank you to Night Valley for providing me this arc. I love having access to arcs. It's nice to be able to get to read books early and review them for you guys. So I'm super glad that they approved me for this and I was able to pick it up early. So a little bit about the world. So about 50 years ago, a mystical Sudanese figure named Al-Jahiz opened something called the Boar that tunneled into the world of the Kef, and that basically released a whole bunch of magical entities into our world. And so Jinn and angels now exist in Egypt, and it seems like some other mythical creatures exist in other parts of the world. We got some mention of some in America, in France, in Germany, etc. But now the Jinn have integrated into Egyptian society, and because of that, and the country's like newly found access to magic, they've become a global superpower. And so this is a mystery story following the detective Fatma and her new partner Hadia. And Fatma is one of the first, well, both of them actually are some of the first female detectives in this world since it's 1912. And we are following them as they investigate the murder of an English nobleman who has this kind of brotherhood that is obsessed and fascinated with this mystical figure of Al-Jahiz. And so in the opening chapter, we get to see Lord Worthington and his whole brotherhood basically performing a ritual that goes a bit awry, and this whole brotherhood is massacred. And we are following Fatma on her quest to figure out who has done this and to what purpose. So this was a book that I absolutely loved. I really enjoyed it. Subjectively, but I feel like it has some objective problems. So let me talk a little bit about that. This is a mystery, like I said, and my kind of biggest issue with the formulation of the book is that I knew who did it from the prologue, from the instant it happened, basically. I knew who was behind this whole thing, and I'm not smart. In fact, I'm actively stupid. So I feel like if I was able to figure it out so immediately, then this is a bit of a problem for the book on the whole overall. And then another issue with that is even if you don't figure it out immediately, I also don't feel like we're giving many options for who it could be. So if you think about a movie like Clue, one of the best movies ever made, or Knives Out, all throughout those mysteries, we have plenty of options. And as you go through the mystery, like, oh, I think it's this person. Oh, actually, no, it's probably this one. And in this book, you don't really get that. We don't have a huge, or we don't have a significant number of options for who it could be. And so I feel like even if you don't figure it out immediately, I feel like you would be able to narrow it down pretty easily. And so I feel like for a mystery, that is a bit of an objective problem. However, I will say I was so in love with this world and in love with the character of Fatma that I really didn't care that much about having known the mystery from the beginning. I just liked seeing her navigate this world. I think it's fascinating, and I'm a really big fan of it. So I do definitely hope we get more books set in this world with Fatma and Hadia as partners working through different investigations. I would love for there to be more books. The pacing is really good overall, but it does slow down in kind of the middle third of the book. We definitely have an issue of it feeling like there are just like steps to check off, things that need to be done to get us to the end of the book. And that makes sense because I feel like this author has only written novellas in the past, so I can understand how the first third is almost like an introductory novella, and the last third is the climax of the story. And so the middle, I feel like it's definitely easy to get a little bit bogged down in a sense. But again, I was so fascinated and obsessed with this world that I really didn't overly mind this. And that's why I say that subjectively, I love this book, but objectively, I do think it has those two problems. Now, aside from that, the strengths of the book are definitely the character of Fatima. She is fabulous. I feel like you can't have a great mystery story without a kick-ass detective, and I really, really liked her. I like her wit and her charm. She's a little bit acerbic. She's dressed to the nines 24/7, and she's a queer woman in this early 1900s world. And so we do see a little bit of a struggle with that, and we do see how, like, also how feminism is affecting this world that is still trying to figure its way around these things. We definitely get glimpses of different problems with just diversity in general. We do get talk of like colorism, which I know is very big in Egypt. For example, we also get talk of like colorism, which I know is very big in Egypt. And then from the European characters in the story, we get some racism, obviously, of course. And so I'm glad that diversity was included in this because I feel like it would be very easy to say, oh, this is an alternate reality where things have kind of gone differently. Maybe now that there are Djinn in this world, we don't have to deal with these normal human problems that we deal with. So I'm glad that I was still included. Another strength of the book is definitely the prose. I really liked the prose in this book. It's not anything flowery or crazy descriptive, but it's very simple to the point, but while also packing some nice punches at some points. It's super easy to fly through. This is the kind of book where it's very easy to read quickly because you just kind of have to like scan your eyes across instead of actually like reading word by word, if that makes sense. I feel like a problem that a lot of people have with reading is they say the words out loud in their head as they're reading, and that can definitely slow you down as opposed to just flicking your eyes across the words and just like internalizing the story. And the prose in this book definitely allowed me to do that, so this is something that I was able to fly through. So the prose was super great. It allowed me to fly through this. It really didn't take me long at all to read. Um, and so I definitely really appreciate that. I think the biggest strength of the world, which I'm sure you have grasped by now, but the biggest strength of this book is definitely the world building. I think it is so cool. It's absolutely fascinating. I love seeing a kind of like alternate history where magic is entered into the picture. I was trying to think of other books that remind me of this vibe, and I was having trouble coming up with ones, but there are so many books that are just like I just can't think of them at the moment. But if I remember them, I will put them up on the screen, and you guys will know that if you like those books, then you will like Master of Djinn. Okay, you guys, I've done some thinking, and I came up with some of the titles that remind me of this series. So first up, we have City of Brass and the Bartimaeus trilogy for a similar kind of world-building setting. Then we have Illusion of Thieves, Shadow of the Apt, and Khadijah for the kind of feeling and atmosphere. And then most of all, more than anything else, we have City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett, or I guess even Foundryside a little bit, but more so City of Stairs. That is a book that has a similar world-building situation. It has a similar culture, definitely, and they are both following a very cool magical city with a female investigator trying to figure out what kind of magical situation has arisen. So I think if you like any of those, you would definitely like a Master of Djinn. So that's all. That's what I came up with. Bye. Back to the video. But yeah, the world building was fantastic. Getting to see how the effects of magic have really influenced the country of Egypt in order to bring it to this kind of global stage as a huge superpower. Magic has huge consequences for everyone's daily life in terms of all of the magical creations that have come about because of the Djinn. We have like Djinn architects creating magical, cool buildings in the city. We have automated vehicles. We have a whole bunch of magic integrated into the kind of industrial revolution. For example, the Department of enchantments, alchemy, and supernatural entities that Fatma works for, is this building that is basically controlled by an artificial intelligence created by Djinn that is just kind of like this big, cool clockwork mind that sustains and controls the building. And I just really, really liked seeing how the author chose to show us the effects of magic in this world. I thought that was really, really great. So the characters are great. The prose and writing style is honestly really fantastic. It was super easy to get through, and the world building is the biggest strength of this book by far. I love this world building so much. That being said, there were the two issues that I mentioned of the mystery failing miserably and a little bit of a pacing issue in the middle third of the book, but because I was so in love with these first three items, I really didn't care about the other two that much. However, if you think you will figure out the mystery as quickly as I did, and that is going to sap some of the joy from you, then I'm not sure that this is a book that you will love as much as I did. But I do definitely think that it's worth picking up and checking out. Or if you actually would like a little bit of a teaser to figure out if you'd like this book, then I would read A Dead Djinn in Cairo, which is available on the Tor.com website for free to read. And also, I think the Haunting of Trampar 15 might also be available for free on Tor. So you can definitely read both of those. I know that I will be. And I think that reading those two novellas will actually increase your enjoyment of this book. Because while having not read those two, I don't think really hurt my enjoyment of the book at all. There was definitely some backstory with some of the characters that I was missing, and so I'm definitely going to go check those out. P. Djeli Clark is a great author, and I'm definitely looking forward to picking up more of his work. I'm super excited about this book, and I really hope that you guys like it. So, that's all. Have a good one. Bye-bye.